Is it always just quiet?
Yeah, they're limited on what they can talk about when they're all in the room, so. You guys can chat amongst yourselves.
Interesting. Thought I was just making an offhand remark and I learned something.
David, there's an agenda right there on the corner of the table if you wanted one, to show where you are and if you wanted to follow along.
All right,
Thank you, ma'am.
it is 6:30, I hereby call the meeting to order. It is Monday, July 22nd, we're here in City Hall for a regular council meeting. Can the clerk please take roll?
Klein.
Here.
Enoch.
Here.
Pujol.
Here.
Roder.
Here.
Stagg.
Here.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve. Second.
Give it to you. Alright. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Alright, public comment. I know there's a bunch of people here for items on the agenda. We'll get to those. But for things not on the agenda, any comment?
Yeah, Greg Brenneman, live on Swisher View Drive, and here the last week or two, I saw that there was seal coating going on in town, and they seal coated from the end of the asphalt on Swisher View Drive, up the hill, around the corner, down past in front of the Apple House to about where Cyrus and Mary Kay used to live, that owned the apple orchard, and they stopped there. And in the next 300 feet, there's 2 or 3 spots that are cracked, and there's at least 3 spots that asphalt patches have been put in the past that you would think they'd like to get that sealed in with the rest of the road. And those asphalt patches went in probably in about 2019, because it was done after the construction across the street in 2017 that caused a lot of damage to the road. And so I guess I was just kind of concerned that what's the plan for seal coating of that? And back in 2011, when the sewer treatment plant was redone, that stretch of road got a lot of truck traffic, and especially the bottom end of the hill just got beat to death. And down at the stop sign at the bottom of Swisher View Drive, there's a pretty good sized hole or indent down there, and that still stems from clear back in 2011 when trucks were going around that corner. And so I guess I was just wondering if there's a master plan of seal coating of streets in town, or at least make the council aware of the concern of that. And I know they're not gonna come back this year, but hopefully next year, that'd be a fairly high priority to get that section done down through there, and maybe repair, you can make repairs down there at the bottom of the hill. I know in front of the sewer plant, that in 2011, that was all tore up, reground, and completely redone. But going down the hill, people go 45 and 50.
Yeah.
There's not been a lot done there, so.
Sure. Well, thanks for coming forward. I did read your email from this afternoon. So we're gonna talk with the engineer and see what they have on the agenda, because we do street improvement projects every single year.
Right.
So if this needs to be a higher priority, we definitely need the engineer to be involved. So I don't have an answer for you yet.
And I didn't expect a definitive answer.
Yeah.
But if the engineer has kind of a master plan of what streets, it would be nice if that would be public information.
Yeah.
If it'd be something that you could get a hold of and
Yeah.
see it. I know, Johnson County has a 5-year road plan
Right.
that you can kind of see, and
Right.
then go talk to supervisors and say, hey, this needs to be higher priority.
Right. So I don't know. I do need to talk to the engineer, so we
Okay.
can find out. And then I know we try to throw on a little bit extra each year. We'll see a little spot here, a little spot
Sure.
there, see if we can't just add a little bit more than our plan. So we can find out, and I've got your email with your phone number,
Yeah.
so we'll get in contact and let you know what the engineer
Okay.
says.
Do we have a
Melissa?
comprehensive road plan?
We do have a streets improvement plan for the town. Where that section is on there, I couldn't tell you.
Melissa is actually online and she said that it is on there for next year, that section.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I had already
Is-
submitted that to the, I don't know if you got the response.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I had sent it on to the city engineer and he did say, you know,
Is,
Swisher review is so long, the council budget's a certain amount and the streets are prioritized, but that would definitely be looked at for next
Is-
year.
and would there be a way to get a hold of what the streets plan is or street maintenance
Yeah,
plan?
There should be something
I don't know
here
if
at-
it's out there already, but we can certainly get it out on the
Or
website.
I don't
online?
think we have it online, but
Okay.
if we could get a scanned
Sure.
copy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
Mallory will put it up online.
For myself, if you
Yeah,
could just send it to me.
Well, and it's great public information,
Yeah.
so putting
It's
that
good
online
reading,
is
it's good
definitely
reading.
possible.
Yeah, I'm kind of nerdy that way. The other comment I have, I don't go that way very often, but on Summit, it's out like driving down through Hoot Owl Holler country with all the trees closing in. And,
Oak Avenue already, isn't it? It's Oak Avenue you're talking about.
Okay.
well, yeah, Oak, I guess, I think of Summit going south, but it goes over to Oak, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really Oak Avenue. And I didn't know responsibilities of, if in the right of way, it's city responsibility or how that works. I know out
Yeah,
in the country, you know, the secondary roads department takes care of keeping ditches and things free of, you know, they do brush control and weed control, things like
Right.
that. So-
right, when we get out to the edge of city limits, then we start sharing with the county, and then it comes like who's in charge of what section. So we'd have to go down and look at that specific area that determines that us as a county, is it in the right of way, is it on private property, and kind of go from there.
Mhm.
But you can send
So
Justin out to look.
if trees are within the right of way, is that city responsibility?
Yeah, kind of depending on what they look like, but we'll have to get Public Works out there to take a look and see.
Just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah. That's good info, because I don't drive down that side very much.
It's a great bike ride.
If you don't hit all tree branches.
Any other public comment? Anyone online?
No.
All right, consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
Yeah, on that, letter from the Iowa Economic Development Authority, that grant, is that the one that was approved back in November of last year?
was not, oh, it was preliminarily.
We approved,
The council
That's the
approved
same
to
one.
apply,
okay,
yeah.
they're just finalizing that now,
Yeah,
We're supposed to get it back to them at the end of June, but
yeah, June,
they just got
sometime.
it.
Yep.
huh? Okay.
Just got it, yep.
I thought it was, just for my information, I just wanted to see where it was at.
Other discussion? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, number 6, request to add concrete parking within Howard Avenue right away by Dave Smith.
That's me.
All right, what are you looking at?
Well, let me show you. I see the media haven't arrived yet, so I'll just go ahead and start. If you orient your blueprint this way, we've got Howard Avenue going like this. And my house is right here in this square. And my barn is right here where you see the cross hatching. And just to the right of the cross hatching, I have with a black marker outlined a rectangle, and that's where I'm proposing, asking for permission to put down concrete for extra parking.
Okay.
And that would be 23 feet by 10.
So David, are you talking basically right in this area? So here's your barn, here's Howard, so right in here, kind of?
Okay,
I don't know
here
that
is
that'll
the
right.
first of the 3 trees.
Okay.
And this will extend from the edge of the barn
Mhm.
all the way to the first tree.
Okay,
And that's 23 feet this way and then 10 feet to my fence. 10 feet to my fence right here.
oh, so you're going in on your own, on private property?
No,
No.
it's all on your property.
Oh, okay,
The property
okay,
line runs
yeah.
along like this.
Well, here's the property line right here. There's your barn. This blue line is the property line.
Okay, then
Yeah,
you're right.
okay,
It won't be,
it'd be out in here,
it
right?
would be out in here. It'll
Yeah.
be between here and the street right in here. This is 10 feet.
Sure.
And I'm proposing 23 feet this way.
Okay, from the barn, basically, from the barn side.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, very good. It's easier for me to see it on the aerial.
So that's in the right of way, is that correct?
Yeah.
It is in our
It
right
in
of
the
way.
right of way, yes. Currently, the construction that's going on with that street right now,
So it'll be curb and gutter, right?
that's gonna be all tore up, there's gonna be curb and gutter there. There's gonna be a sidewalk on his side that's buttered up against the curb.
Okay,
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, David, you're wanting this pad forward from the sidewalk to your fence.
Exactly. It will fill the space from the sidewalk to the fence.
Oh, okay.
And your reasoning for wanting to pour this?
Extra parking space. What am I missing, guys?
Would this
What
be
are the
some,
city considerations?
would this be something that has to go through, planning and zoning or not? No?
No,
it's not.
there's no building permit required for concrete.
Okay,
And it's
okay.
city right away, so it's your jurisdiction to grant or not
This-
grant.
This thing here, for what he's asking, we have not done before on city property for any residents. When we did Division Street, there was a few things asked there too that we did not do for them. Because the thoughts at that time too were, if you put in something specialized for a resident, you're gonna have a lot of other people coming to you wanting the city to put different things on the right of ways for parking or what have you, storage or what have you. So I guess in my mind, I would think if you wanted to pour a pad on your property, that we could work with the concrete people when they come, they could do something like that for you.
Problem with that is my fence would have to come down. And I don't want to mess with the fence.
Melissa has a comment as well.
yeah, go ahead, Melissa.
Just a reminder also that your roadways are currently, I would say, about 22 feet edge to edge with no curb and gutter, and they're being increased to 31 foot. This is back to back. And this increased width is specifically to allow roadway parking. Because right now it's so narrow, it's pretty impossible to do that, but this increased width does allow for that.
Roadway parking, how would that work? Where is there room to, where would there be room to park along Howard after it's done?
Just right next to the curb
It'd be
is
like you do
like
today.
any standard
Another-
side street.
In other words, on the grass.
No.
No.
Parallel parking,
On the pavement.
because it's gonna be
How will there
wide.
be enough room? How will there be enough room? I mean, here's the roadway, here's the sidewalk,
Right.
and then grass to my fence.
We're widening the road
9 feet.
to allow regular parallel parking along the curb.
If
So
you-
the road's gonna be wider than it is today.
Okay, but looking at this, I don't see where it would be anywhere near wide enough to park a car parallel to Howard Avenue. You'd have Howard Avenue going this way, and the sidewalk here. All right, Howard Avenue going this way. Are you saying there would be parking here between sidewalk and roadway?
No.
No, it'd be on the
Yeah, road.
On the roadway?
Yes.
Right, so like across the street.
I didn't realize roadway was gonna be that wide.
Yes.
Yeah,
If you,
Widen 9 feet.
if you look at Division Street, David, how wide that is,
Yeah,
that's comparable, it's the same.
okay.
So up and down Division Street, like out front of our house, if you need, like what they're doing today with the trucks and stuff, is they pull them up there, they're parked out front there. I know that they're working to back in and do their construction stuff, but there is room enough that they can park along that street
Okay,
and still get two-way traffic.
just to make sure I've got this right, there would be room enough, here's Howard Avenue, the roadway. All right, and there's enough room on the roadway, will be enough room to park a car along it without interfering with the sidewalk that's running parallel to it
Right.
Parallel because.
on both sides,
Just on your side,
just on my
Just
side.
on one side.
sidewalk.
Right.
That does change things, I had no idea.
It'll be as wide as Orchard, actually it'll be wider than Orchard. And Maple up there, where we have on-street parking up there.
Yeah.
And, yeah. You can park one car on the side of the road very easily parallel and still maneuver around.
Okay, I'm gonna rethink this, but in case I do decide to go ahead with it, what considerations do you guys have? Would I get your permission?
It's up to council.
Again, I want to kind of state if we allow something like this, the next project that we're doing, or down the line, you're gonna have other residents in here wanting us to pour pads on city property for them to park campers, to park.
Everything in this town is a case-by-case scenario, though.
I understand
We don't
that.
set a past precedent with anything in this town ever.
Well, I'm
Remember-
just saying,
If something goes in the right of way, it is city property.
yes.
Dave, would you have to go across the sidewalk to get the parking you want? You would, wouldn't you? If I understand.
Yes, you would.
You would.
Yeah,
You'd have the street, then the along the street parking, then the sidewalk, then my pad.
so how, you have to go over the curb to get to your pad, is what you're talking about, right?
You would have to,
drive
yes.
over the sidewalk to get
Over
to
the
this
sidewalk
pad.
and
Right.
they see a problem, pedestrians walking on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
driving
absolutely.
Across the sidewalk.
Mhm.
Couldn't you see a thing of driving over the top of the sidewalk anyway? If it's not reinforced and everything, I mean,
If it's not set as a
if
driveway.
it's not set up as a
thickened.
driveway, if it's just set up as a 4-inch concrete sidewalk, I would think you would wanna be driving across.
Excellent point, the stress would build up.
Absolutely.
As part of the project being done too.
I'm also intrigued, once this road widens and they install the sidewalk, how much actual space you have to your barn there,
You mean to
Because-
the
Go in
fence?
which direction?
or to the fence?
To the fence,
To the fence.
from the
It'll
sidewalk.
be 10 feet from sidewalk to fence. And that's
Even
right,
after the sidewalk?
yeah, after the sidewalk, from the edge of the sidewalk to my fence.
And that's with the
10
road
feet of
widening.
grass, and that's where I'm proposing to.
And that's with the road widening.
With the lighting, yes, certainly, taken off of this. Kurt, that's a pretty good consideration there, I hadn't thought about that. If it got if the pad was in place and it got an awful lot of use,
And once you make an opening, like say to your property, whatever, you don't know how heavy the vehicles are that's gonna be going across it or anything. You can say it's gonna be a regular car, but if all of a sudden you're having construction being done and you got construction trucks, that's more weight that's gonna go across the sidewalk.
well, maybe and maybe not. I don't think this pad would be used by anybody but me.
Well, but,
It goes nowhere, I mean, you got my fence on one side, the tree on the other.
yeah, but you have to remember though, you're not gonna be the only owner of this forever.
Yeah, this is true.
Somebody else might come in there and, have heavier vehicles that wanna go across that. I'm just leery of somebody driving across sidewalk all the time. That's what I'd be really.
So typically, and as designed with the project, where the sidewalks do cross driveways, they're thickened. They match the thickness of the driveways.
Yes.
Right. Keep in
This would
mind,
not be an actual driveway, though, we'd have to ask them to thicken it along my pad, and that would be an added cost.
Right.
Mike, you had told me that other people on Howard were thinking of having extra pouring done.
They're going to have some extra concrete poured, but it's on their property. It's not on city right of way.
Aha, okay.
But when they get with their subcontractor, when they come in, each resident that wants something done will have an opportunity to talk with the contractor
Certainly.
and tell them what they're looking for.
I didn't realize that all of theirs was on private property.
Yes.
Okay, you know what, guys, I'm gonna shelve this.
Thanks, David.
Well,
Thanks,
we
David.
appreciate you coming and talking to us.
Well, I appreciate you listening to me.
All right, number 7, Iowa DNR Community Forest Grant Program, considering applying for the Iowa DNR Community Forest Grant to replace trees on streets, right-of-way, and other city property.
Who applied for it?
Well, I think Melissa brought
Yeah.
this to the city's attention, so she might have some questions, or if you have questions for her.
I know there have been questions just about with derecho and city projects going on about tree planting. This application was posted at the end of June, and I just thought last week forwarded it to Shelley. It's due August 26th. So it's a DNR program to plant trees on public lands in response to derecho damage. So that's street landscaping and right-of-ways, parks, community sports complexes. There is no match required for grants from $500 to $10,000. The city would be responsible for purchasing the trees themselves from nurseries and garden centers, and then installing them, planting them. The DNR would be on site to observe them being planted. They do have a list of tree species to choose from, and it seems to me to be a pretty large list to choose from. They want good variation in species. The application is for scoring is based on demonstrated need. The cost effectiveness of the grant award, so, looking at how many trees you can plant for that amount of money. So I don't know if that would get into volunteers working on the planting or how you would approach that. So that gets into 3, community involvement. Meeting or USA designation. I don't know what's involved in that, but I can absolutely find out more. And then the species diversity that is chosen.
Melissa, would the 2
Yep.
trees that we were talking about at our last meeting up at the park, that we need to take down or take down anyway, would that grant be, would it be approved to replace those 2 trees? Because we were kind of thinking those were derecho damaged from, a few years ago.
Yep, it absolutely would. So I would think you could lump in, we had derecho damage, and now on top of that, we've had a project come through town and take out a bunch of other trees. So we're definitely looking to plant more and replace those that have been lost.
Would
And include the ash trees as well.
I think I know the answer, but would it happen to cover any of the dead trees that are up on Division right now? The ones that we planted for Division? No, the dead trees that we planted on the Division Street project that didn't make it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would.
Yeah, that would definitely be one of the first places that we would want to replace trees. So, yep.
I think that park would be the first place, because them are big shade trees up at that Chossack Park.
It is not recommended to replace any of the trees where the new neighborhood is going in until the neighborhood is done. Due to a lot of regrading going on over there, it changes the type of trees that should be planted in the area because we won't have culvert anymore.
You mean along Division?
On Division. Absolutely, we need more trees in the park because we're losing a lot. I would like to remind council that planning and zoning already has a tree project they're working on. I think we should partner with them.
Park and Rec?
Park and Rec,
Okay,
I meant Park and Rec.
okay.
Park and Rec, I think we should partner with them. I think this is a great grant opportunity, but I think Amanda needs to give her input on which trees and where, because she's the one with the knowledge. But as Melissa said, the DNR list for trees, it's like 116 different types of trees. So you can't just point and say, oh, that looks nice. There are different types of trees that go in different places.
Well, and maybe Park and Rec could be the volunteer organizers.
Right. Yeah, which they should be.
Yeah,
They should be in charge of that.
for sure.
So, suggest if you wanna do this, we, get it on Park and Rec agenda, so that way they can start planning as well.
When are the grants due? August 26th.
August 26th, so they meet before.
Yep.
They probably won't meet until
Uh-huh.
July or August.
Yeah,
August
yeah, it's gonna be later, 21st,
21st.
yeah. That's,
I mean, you guys can still
cutting it way
approve,
close.
approve applying for the grant, but we do need to get them involved since they already have an ongoing project they're working on.
Yeah, I would almost recommend them to do a special meeting. Honestly,
I
with the
agree.
fact that we have a grant opportunity that would take care of their project.
And maybe they'll just move their meeting up. Yeah, we could definitely ask them, see if they'll meet earlier.
That would be good.
So I guess, Melissa, what's your question as far as you to be the lead applicant or helping prepare the grant application?
I can definitely help prepare the grant application. The application does need to include commitment to and description of a 10-year maintenance plan. So you would need to talk to Parks and Rec about that. And then a map of the planting areas. Real quick, I looked at the DOT, the recent bids that have come in, and one tree is going for about $220. So the grant is for somewhere between $500 and $10,000 to plant trees. So, you know, $5,000 to get you 23 trees, or give or take, for example.
What's all involved in the maintenance program for the, like, do we have to sign up with like a tree service company to spray it
No.
every year and stuff like that, or what? Or
You have to show proof that you are watering it every year, that you're doing the correct pruning, that if there is any like weather damage, that it's taken care of immediately.
Who'd be in charge of doing that?
Parks and Rec.
Okay.
How would that be followed up on?
Parks and Rec,
Who would be monitoring what we're doing?
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Or
Who
DNR,
is
he's wondering if
monitoring Parks and
DNR.
Who from out DNR?
That's why he's asking.
They're gonna be watching what we're doing?
I would assume they would have to turn in a report. I don't think they would drive out here, I think we just have to turn in a report saying this is what we did this year. That's,
We need a motion on this right now or not?
Yeah, I think you do. You need to show support that, to apply for the grant. Actually, it really should, Parks and Rec had this program going. They should be the ones coming to the council and saying, hey, we found this grant out there. Can we have your support to apply to it?
Well,
We don't even know about it.
we want to make a motion that we go ahead and put this in motion to apply for this grant,
Well, yeah, because time is ticking.
along with
partnering with Parks and Rec.
partnering with Parks and Rec.
I got that as a motion, Mike.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, we will contact them and see if they can move their meeting. All right, number 8, resolution 48 for 2024, approving site plan and updated final plat of the Swisher 60 subdivision in Johnson County within the 2-mile frontage agreements.
Motion to approve resolution 48, 2024.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Klein.
Aye.
Enoch.
Aye.
Pujol. Roder.
Aye.
Stagg.
Aye.
Resolution 49 of 2024, approving proposal from Environet for $700 for asbestos inspection and report services on the 2 garages in the downtown park.
Motion to approve resolution 4924.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Enoch.
Aye.
Pujol. Roder.
Aye.
Stagg.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Thank you, that motion carries. Number 10, garage in downtown park. We were approached, asked if a citizen could take the garage in the downtown park to put it on his property. We have found some things since then, so they're here tonight to talk to council. There are some ordinances that you should be aware of. Primarily 165 as it relates to non-conforming. And what's the other number?
Yeah, just the residential 165.22 accessory buildings.
So his property is 2 separate parcels, which you will see on your map. There's the 2 separated parcels. Address is Jefferson, so that is the front of a home. Wherever your address is, that is the front. We do not allow more than 30% of the rear yard to be an accessory building, and you cannot put accessory buildings in your front yard. He's currently grandfathered in for the buildings he has, but we would not be able to permit an additional building in a front yard because it would be non-conforming. So he's here to talk to council about that.
You're putting them, are you putting them on the same place you're taking the ones out?
Right, yeah, where that carport's at.
That's what I thought.
But once the carport is gone, he would no longer be grandfathered in, because it's totally different.
I was just asking if that's
See it.
where it was.
His backyard is already filled with this right here. That's his front yard right there. This is a different lot. This has nothing to do with that. He wants to go right here.
Yeah, and that's the front yard, so it wouldn't be allowed.
Right.
That is a residence front yard?
But he's got, according to this, he's got 37 feet right here.
The setback would be, setback in
Now,
RS would be
this
20
is,
25 feet from the
that
property line.
that red line is what you're talking about, right? Yeah. That's 30, so he should have 37 feet here and 27 feet here.
And you would need 25 feet for the front yard setback. You'd have to meet it 25 feet from the property line.
On that red line, he's gotta be back 25 feet.
Because you're looking at it as separate lots, is that correct?
Right,
It is
they're 2
separate.
separate
Yeah.
parcels.
Is that something the Board of Adjustments can look at?
No, they can't make somebody more non-conforming than they are. They can't approve something like that.
What's,
And they can't, Board of Adjustments can't combine parcels. That would be a request of the county or county. That'd be a request of the county. We can't even combine parcels.
is that for tax purposes or what's,
That's a county question.
If you don't attach both.
If you don't attach parcels, you can't add additional buildings onto an empty lot.
No,
You would only
no,
be
he
looking
he
at
don't
the-
want nothing
the
on,
one.
he does not want anything on the empty lot.
Right, but you still have the 25-foot setback requirement.
And that's really considered.
That's not the red line.
That's the start of the property line, and then you have to go back 25 feet.
so it says nothing that the Board of Adjustments can look at?
To allow them to build closer than 25 feet.
Yes,
You can certainly pay the fee and see if they'll do it,
Well,
but there's now refunding on the fee if they don't grant a variance.
but they can look at any,
Sure.
non-conforming, can't they?
Yeah, they
Non-conforming,
can look at it, but
usually it's not a granting to make something more non-conforming, it's a variance is a variance like to the setback or
How much does it cost to have them review it?
$100.
It'd be up to him if he wants to spend $100.
Mhm.
Right.
I do.
So if they want to do, how do they just?
Yeah,
the
there's
application to you,
application.
or
You have to
There's a
fill out.
form,
Yeah.
a form to fill out. Mhm.
you fill it out?
How often does the Board of Adjustments meet?
As
Only
needed.
as needed, yeah.
Only
So
as
once
needed.
they get an application, we contact all of them, they pick a
And
date
see-
when they're
And
available.
there's
See
4
when
on
they're
it, right? Or
Yeah.
5?
Mhm.
Four.
Yep.
So
When
they do have voting.
When can you fill it out?
You can fill it out,
I can get it after the meeting or tomorrow.
yeah.
Okay, like he's gonna work, like come up here tomorrow. and fill
Yeah, I can
out
get it for you.
He has to sign it, all right?
Yeah.
All right,
And-
I'll fill it out and then he'll get it
And the
signed.
fee paid, and then we'll get
All right.
we'll get it together.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, guys.
So we'll basically have to wait until.
There's nothing you guys do.
You guys.
No, but I'm saying,
Okay, you wanna learn more?
in regards to making a resolution on the future of that building, you're gonna have to wait now till the first August meeting.
Yeah, you have to wait until after.
To wait until after the
Yep.
Board of
Board of Adjustments
Adjustments meets to make their decision.
And it would no longer be grandfathered in because it's a because it's a
It's
separate,
correct.
it's a
Separate
different building.
Yeah. So,
Existing structure already on that, or is that place?
I don't know how big that garage is it more than 12 feet?
Oh, yeah.
Then it wouldn't fit in that spot without Board of Adjustment approval.
I think it's a long shot. I mean, I'll usually advise somebody if I feel like, yeah, that would make sense for you to go to Board of Adjustment. This one, I don't wanna see somebody waste their money because I'm 95% confident it's not gonna be granted. But that's not my decision.
All right, resolution 50 of 2024, approving proposal for Midwest Demo Contractors for $16,400 for demolition of 2 garages, tree removal, construction of gravel parking in the downtown park improvement project.
So how do we make a motion on this?
Wait a minute,
You can make a motion to accept the proposal and not set the date for demolition until after Board of Adjustments. So you can tell the owner they won the bid, we'll tell you a date when we can do the work.
Motion to approve Midwest Demo Contractors for resolution 50/2024. After we hear from back from Board of Adjustment.
Second.
Thank you.
Well, that's a huge difference.
That happens a lot with urban stuff. Get a big variance. Remember the signs, it went from $400 to $5,000? That's what we run into.
Earlier we were trying to get 3 bids on everything. Were we just get 2 bids turned in or did we?
Yeah, that's all that was turned in.
How many did we send out?
Contacted a couple of different companies.
It was posted.
Just posted on
It
the
was
site.
posted on website, the Iowa League website
there
around
was a Iowa
town.
League for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's, yeah. As well as the one for the asbestos was posted at the same time.
Which is weird, because we got like 5 bids
Yeah.
for that.
Any other discussion? All right, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Pujol.
Aye.
Roder.
Abstain.
Stagg.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Enoch.
Aye.
Thank you, motion carries.
It's Henick rather than Heineck?
Scenic.
Henick.
We'll answer it anything.
I can call you anything but not late to dinner.
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
All right, resolution 51 of 2024, appointing Lindsay
Soika.
Soka, Karen and Craig Bondurant to the Swisher Community Fund Board of Trustees.
Motion we move the appointing.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is this, will that be enough for a committee?
Nope.
I mean,
No,
one
but
more
we
yet?
did
Gives
get,
us 4, right?
we did
It's
get,
just 4.
we did get a fifth, but it was after the agenda was prepared and out,
We need-
so.
we
So
need
that'll
five,
be
so
on
that-
That'll
the
be
next
meeting.
agenda.
Yep, so
And you,
this
the
is four.
first one, when's their term limit? Do you remember, is that
It's,
2026 as well?
I think it's the same as
2027.
Wednesdays.
So there'll be
Okay.
2 at 2027, 1 at 2 at 2026, 1 at 2025.
Why are they different dates to expire?
You have to stagger your expirations on the board.
Yeah, that's
So it's
basically
as people
Gotcha.
apply,
The
they get the
agreement.
next date.
that was signed by the council to do that.
So does the last to apply get stuck for a longer term?
No,
Shorter
actually, shorter term.
It is a
You
shorter.
interested, Greg?
Okay, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Roder, Stagg,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Pujo.
All right, motion carries. We will let them know. Resolution 52 of 2024, approving a 28E agreement with the city of Swisher, Johnson County EMS, and the fire department to move their stuff to the garage behind City Hall. The fire chief is very excited about the move. I talked to Dave from EMS yesterday. He's 100% on board, so we just need council approval so the fire department can move their stuff.
Is that the emergency vehicles or anything, or is it just excess equipment?
It's gonna be the EMS trailer, the antique fire truck, and
Not
some
resi-
other storage that the
Not
fire
response
department needed.
vehicles?
Non-response
Okay.
vehicles.
Motion to approve resolution 5224.
I'll say.
Anyway,
So my only concern with this is this does run for 5 years. Do we foresee any need in 5 years that that building may come down?
there is a clause in there that we can terminate the contract early with a 90-day,
I wanna say 90,
I think it's
yeah.
a 90-day notice to both parties that we are going to terminate early. They also have the same thing, that if they want to pull all their stuff out, they contact us. Any other discussion?
There's no, we don't have to, like, have any insurance or anything on something that would happen to that
No,
building?
their insurance covers their products.
We're covering the building, they're covering contents. Yeah, the same way it was before on,
Yeah, we already have an agreement with them to store stuff in the garage, we're just changing it so we can tear the garage down.
basically the same agreement. Some of the contents changed a little bit, and then I sent it to the attorney, and of course, he had a few things to change on it, so not a big deal.
Other discussion? All right, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Stagg,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Pujo,
Aye.
Roder.
Aye.
Fiscal year 2024 debt obligation report, to review the report and authorize the city clerk to submit to the Iowa treasurer. So this is a requirement.
Yep, it's just an annual requirement to send to the state treasurer's office, so the 2 new debts were added. It's a pretty simple, report, and it's, public has access to see any government entity's debt out there.
Motion to authorize to submit the report.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Division Street project update, I am thrilled. They're going back 4 years on the 10-year agreement. So they're going all the way back to October 1st of 2020 to consider the end of their project. And they were unanimous, their engineer was happy with it, everybody was happy with it, so we get to go back 4 years. Which drastically changes,
The amount of compensation.
yeah.
for
so the, and
that
our,
section.
HR Green, Tim ran some numbers. After the 4-year discount, they're looking at 118,000-ish to pay back to the county. I talked to Rod Sullivan, he's the chair of the Johnson County Supervisors. He said, the city can actually take up to 5 years to pay it back. It doesn't have to be one lump sum. He also suggested that if the future owners come to the city to request a TIF, that we build it into the TIF, the city's paid back that money with the TIF agreement before we would give anything if the builders wanted to do a TIF agreement. So he said it's not unusual at all for cities to do stuff like that with properties that are gonna annex in. And he said the county is absolutely on board with working with us for a payback program. I know Shelley started looking in the budget to see what we would be looking at for funding. We have some questions out to
Yeah.
some people to get some more detail.
Yeah, I wanted to check with our bonding attorney, and of course, the head cheese at the attorney's office has gone on vacation for a week and a half, so it won't be for another week. But we really need to make sure we're not, going against the agreement, the bonds that we've signed. So I just wanna verify that, you know, if we used a portion of the Division Street bonds, if the council chose to go that route with the reimbursement, could those bonds be used for the payback to Johnson County? Cause that's that's a place where there are funds sitting, obviously, about 350,000 left in that bond from Division Street.
So we potentially have the money. We just wanna make sure that we're allowed to use money on this specific type of thing.
How soon do you think you would get all the answers to some of these questions you got?
At this point, it's pending bonding attorney, so when he gets back, setting a meeting, I don't know if they need to discuss that on their side, or if they've seen this before and they can just give us an answer. We've never, Shelley's never seen this before, so we don't really know what we're looking at, but
So it could be a month, 2 months.
I would doubt 2 months.
I think she said a couple weeks, he was out for a couple weeks, and I emailed him right away.
For Thursday.
Thursday, something like that, yeah, Thursday afternoon.
So potentially, it's a lot less money we were looking at. We might have the money already sitting somewhere, and we do have future options for money as well.
So I don't wanna say I'm fairly confident, but hopefully we'd have an answer from our bonding attorney by the next council.
So what is your guys' want to be annexed in for?
To put a house on that parcel of ground that I own,
Just one?
just one, as far as I know. That would be coming from.
Yeah.
I'm not on that side.
Yeah.
I don't see what you negotiate.
So,
Can you say your name for the clerk?
Brad Deegan.
Brad,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yep. And so I was looking at some other things here, you know, like our old house there. You know, the taxes on that place are $7,422 a year. Dave's ground is $1,284, and our ground is $448. So if it was annexed in, you guys would be getting that money and
A portion of it.
a portion of it. And then that's not even considering if Dave's gets bought out and gets developed. So that's, you know, and that would have to come from Steve on how much more they'd be attracted to a buyer, being annexed into the city. I guess that's.
What is the attraction to being annexed into the city for you guys?
It's not me,
I-
it's for the owner.
For the owners, yeah.
So, as it stands now, would be the difference between operating under Johnson County umbrella versus city umbrella.
Our setback requirements are better.
That being said, there's more liberties working with the city versus the county on regulations for construction or development.
What are the more restrictions for the county for you guys?
Currently, you have to have 40 acres to build one unit. In the city limits, you're not required to have that.
How many acres?
40 acres.
It's just the house.
Also remember, the fire department is very on board with expanding east. They are worried about Cedar Rapids splitting their zones. It's gonna get very complicated if Cedar Rapids does do that. If we continue annexing east, Sugar Hills annexed west up to the highway, that keeps the fire department protected, which they are definitely concerned about.
Protected from what?
From Cedar Rapids splitting their two zones, it gets very complicated when fires happen, then on who has to respond and what happens where, and they really don't want that. So it would be beneficial to our fire department to prevent that if we can.
The other thing I just have to add is, I just asked when you guys cast your votes that if it was your property, what would you want done? That's one thing that I have to say.
Do you have any idea on the Shealy property remotely, how many houses could even go out there? Under city umbrella?
It would depend on a plating and
How many acres is
it's
that?
no different than.
41.90.
41.9.
Generally speaking, how many?
Don't know until you get.
Well, yeah, but see, like at back at Dave's, you got a creek that runs through there and you got some ground that's not buildable on. So it's,
You're gonna have lost acres.
yes. So let's just say he's got 41.90 acres. You know, he could maybe only build on 30 acres of it, you know, and there'd be 10 acres just sitting. Because of the trees and because of,
Is it unbuildable because some of that's in the floodplain down there by that creek line, or is that what?
If the waterway is not defined as a floodplain,
Isn't it? Okay.
for the county, flat.
and there is a creek that runs through there, as you guys
So
all
there's
know.
been no preliminary rough sketch site plan, nothing?
The brakes have been pumped until we get some
Sure.
approval.
Sure.
Nobody wants to
For
put that
expenditure
money,
costs.
nobody wants to put that money out because you can go up here and ask him how much he's paying up there.
Oh,
and
I
get that
know,
all.
yeah.
It's a big, big dollar.
Brad,
Yeah.
how many acres is yours?
I got 12 point something,
And you're only wanting to put one house on that?
yes.
Big yard.
A lot of mowing.
That's the one. You wanna do it by hand.
So I guess my other question is like that, and this is just my reference. So Division Street, when do they plan on doing anything with Division Street? You know, because of the upgrading of it.
You mean as
It's
far
already
as,
been upgraded.
Out past my place, out where I'm talking about?
you mean like what
Oh,
goes
like what
through
we did in
town?
town,
Yes,
That's
there's
not.
no
Oh.
plans right now.
oh,
That's
I was just
Okay.
curious.
Oh, you mean like with the street lighting and the
Yes,
curb and gutter?
is that never
Oh.
gonna happen?
That's
Not never gonna.
Never say
happen,
never.
But
So
not,
that's
in
not
the
in the
immediate
current
future.
No, I was just curious, just
Yeah.
my own knowledge. I know it costs a lot of money, but
But the street has already been improved with that whole
Oh,
project with the county,
Right,
right? Yeah.
right, that was like, that's what we've been talking about, a split cost between the county and the city for portions of that. And now we're looking at rebating money back to the
Reversing.
county for their portion in order to move
Yes.
forward with annexation requests.
because the ground on the other side is already annexed in, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
On the east side.
But as far as upgrading that to like what we have that goes through town here today, that has not been on the radar here at all.
Okay.
At this point.
So basically, Brad, what they're saying is your parcel, the north side and everything, if we do annex it in, it's gonna cost somewhere around $100,000 as of right now.
Yeah.
We have to pay the county back because of that Division Street project,
Yes.
so.
Well, the fire department, get back to the fire department. Their, the fire department finished Cedar Rapids coming in, now that's not Swisher Fire Department, that,
Jefferson.
yeah, I know, it covers Trudeau too,
But
but
they are also talking about wanting to annex it.
Cedar Rapids?
No, to
No.
us.
Yeah, I know, but I just can't imagine Cedar Rapids would be interesting with this township.
Cedar Rapids absolutely wants to keep annexing, so,
They do?
absolutely,
Fire department?
as far as they can get.
Really?
They'll take all the
They
tax
can't,
revenue
they
they
can't,
can.
they can't go much farther yet.
Yes, is the key word.
There's still a few years left on the agreement
What,
that we have.
7 or 8 years left?
I think there's about 7 years left. on
Yeah,
that agreement.
We're not getting that agreement again.
Well, whoever's sitting here needs to
How hard was
work
it?
on that.
Weren't you on that group?
Yes,
That was hard, wasn't it?
it's not easy.
Yeah.
You
So at this point, the bonding attorney will let us know if we have the funds available or not, and we will let you guys know.
So that's what we're basically waiting on.
That's what we're basically waiting on. Yeah, but at least it's less than we originally thought. Further discussion?
So at this time, it's those two on the north side.
Yeah,
Fire department hasn't applied yet, right?
no, but they can't until they, meet with their board, and they haven't met with their board.
They haven't met with the board in the last 4 months.
They only meet once a year.
It's the 31st of this month, I believe, isn't it?
I
that
have
what
not
it is?
heard
Aren't
the
the-
date.
you the liaison?
Yes, I am.
Tell us.
I know what it is. I think it's the 31st.
All right.
Okay,
So when is it? Is it 31st of July?
Their board only meets once a year. They
So
can,
is that
they can
on
call
their
a special
agenda?
meeting if
Do
they
you know?
need to, but he wasn't planning
I've been up in Canada for the last 10 days,
Oh,
and I
okay.
got
on it. I would
I
assume
got
they
an
haven't
envelope
got
from
an
one that I
agenda yet.
haven't read it yet.
okay.
Annually.
Anyway, but they can call special meetings.
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
The next
Envelope
property,
with information.
Okay.
And you guys saw there's another property that went up for sale last week, did you? The one
Yes.
out surrounding the,
it's been up for sale for years.
Yeah.
no, not the south
No,
side,
it
the
just
north
came
side.
out for sale.
On the corner.
Yeah,
Except for
Oh,
Tiffany's building.
Who is?
Tiffany Earl's place or that.
Great. That's going in Cedar Rapids.
Very well good.
Oh, yeah.
alright,
Or the airport a lot.
other discussion. Alright, number 16, Cassock Park trees. So the storm last week damaged 2 trees that definitely need to be taken out. I got to talking with Justin when we were out there looking at them. He reminded me Fun Days is this Saturday.
Yes.
So we're gonna have all those kids and all those families around those trees. This guy is willing to do it this week before Fun Days for $5,000 to take all 4 trees out.
What-
It's,
When he says this week, when is he thinking this week?
he wants to start tomorrow, if you guys approve.
Just because I know there's the ball tournament starting up there Wednesday.
He would work during the day. he
Yeah,
wouldn't-
yeah,
But,
but yeah, I mean, as long as he's done by 5:00.
This has been approved through legal.
Amanda is trained to go out and look for bats, so she went out last week. She did the 2 observing that she is required to do, and there is no bat activity in the 4 trees.
Excellent. That bypasses that.
So, it's under the requirement for us to go out for multiple bids, this guy's willing to do it in our time frame.
It's kind of an emergency situation with the storm last Monday to get it done.
Kind of through.
The crumb tree was the one that was dead along the
It's the
trail.
monster right by the
Yeah.
bathroom that if it
Yes.
falls, it's gonna wipe the concession.
The maple tree then, I would guess, is the one right next to that little pavilion.
Yes.
The little pavilion.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right down by the ball field.
Meeting Street.
and then there's one, kind of near the volleyball pit, and then there's one between the parking lot and the street. Those were the 2 that were damaged.
In this last storm.
Motion to approve.
Is that, hang on just one second, is that, removing stumps and everything?
Yes.
Yep.
I think that's what it
The
said.
grind and everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
grinding.
Clean up.
These trees though, right now, they're, well, okay, I guess we're saying they're a hazard right now with the condition they're in, so they absolutely need to be removed. Okay, just to make that clear.
There's gonna be a lot of people up there this week.
That's what we were worried about. Otherwise, we would have just lumped everything in with the other
With the,
bid.
up by Karen and
Yeah,
Milo's.
that will still be
Yeah.
a normal bid, because that's entwined with electrical wires, that's gonna be expensive.
So just a question I guess I would have for council, where do you want me to take this out of the budget? Where is this budgeted? Yeah, is this eating up our entire budget for tree removal? Because you only budget 5,000 a year.
Or do you want general fund?
How much is in the general fund right now? Is it like 18,000 or something?
I'm confused on your, I know what your general fund question is, but where did you come up with $18,000?
I don't know, I'm just, I
Okay,
thought,
okay.
I thought I heard that, I thought I had heard that.
It's a lot, yeah, it's a lot more.
There's, I mean, yes, is there money in the general fund to take it out? I just wanna know, do you want me to take it out of the tree monies budgeted first? Or just take this out of like a park tree removal project? That's what I would
This is gonna be
recommend.
on this fiscal year, right?
Oh, yeah, and it's not,
We're already into
And we're
the new
all-
fiscal year.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so there's $5,000 budgeted in for tree removal,
Which is for the ash trees, correct?
Which is,
usually,
Usually that's what it is.
yeah, usually,
which we were basically taking that towards the ones up on Swisher,
okay.
because that was the plan.
So this is kind of
That's
a,
gonna be more of the.
this is kind of a different project,
Yeah.
I think it,
General fund
yeah,
beginning to-
general fund parks, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, cause I don't think we should take away from, cause if we're
That has to
talking,
get done too.
yeah, cause if we're
Right.
talking about this being a hazard, that's just the biggest hazard too,
But
you
that's
know.
gonna be way more money.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
well, I'm just saying, I mean, I don't think we take anything away from that hazard either.
Second.
I should say, is that what you would recommend?
I do,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yes.
Other discussion? All those in favor?
Alright,
Anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. We are at the end of our agenda.
motion adjourned.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thanks, everybody.
Okay, guys, can I ask a quick question here?
Yeah.